Nick.
Hi, Paul. Bill Reick. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Bill. How are you? Nice to meet you too.
I'm doing great. This is a real treat for me. So I'm really excited. And on behalf of Nick, who I think you were speaking with, I'd like to welcome you and all the future listeners and viewers to the relaunch of Dark Universe TV. So thank you for being here.
Cool. Thank you.
This
Absolutely,
is
it's my pleasure, Bill.
what I can't tell you how excited I've been for this meeting. You're a T-shirt baddie. You know what I mean? Like you're an action figure. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's Pinhead. I don't know that the action figure is based on my performance as Pinhead, but it's a character. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of tough.
I'd imagine so. That's a legacy that you're stepping into.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been kind of weird at conventions because there are certain items that I want to have on my table that are like my own personal property that I have purchased. Like I had all the action figures before I even got cast in the movie. It's because I've been a huge fan for so many years. But yeah, it's I've been accused of some of misrepresenting myself because I'm not the Pinhead. But I'm like, you know what? It's a character. It's much like playing Dracula or something like that.
Absolutely. I did notice that you aren't Doug Bradley, but I don't know why anybody would be disappointed by that. If they're a fan of Pinhead, they should be a fan of more Pinhead movies, more Hellraiser movies.
Well, thanks. I agree with you. I've just been, I understand the hardcore fans. I do understand their point of view. I just don't agree with their point of view. I think that we can open our minds a little bit and just not be so all darn stubborn about our silly things that we decide are so important to us when really does it matter in the grand scheme of things?
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's just entertainment,
Zoom out to a cosmic level and think about somebody being like, it was a different guy with the makeup on. It's I don't know.
Yeah. But,
it's
it
me.
what it is.
And
I don't know.
how anybody can view your performance and feel that you didn't do justice to the character is beyond me, because I could.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was a pleasure watching that performance, which is not something I get to say an awful lot to the person that did it, that was in the movie. So on behalf of Pinhead fans everywhere, I'm sure you've gotten this a bunch, but thank you for doing it justice.
You're welcome and thank you. I mean, that right there is the thing that feels the best of anything like at a convention. If someone comes up to me at the table and they say something along those lines, that's the best thing I could hear all day, because that's what I had to worry about for 2 years after I finished filming. That's what I was worried about the most, because I knew that there were hardcore fans that weren't necessarily going to give me a shot. And I mean, there have been some people who come up to me and they think that they don't know the history of the Hellraiser franchise, and they just assume that I'm in all the movies, and I don't.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't correct them unless it comes up. I'm not going to misrepresent who I am.
No.
I put things I word things in such a way so that I never lie. I whether that just be slipping in the word judgment or whatever, but Hellraiser Judgment is the most recent film. Yes, I'm in this one. Anyway, it's been a really cool experience and a great gift to be. I had a friend who I've known him for decades. And he found out I had been cast as Pinhead, and it was a very simple text. It was simply, "Congratulations on your instant cult status." And I'm like, whoa, it was, it's been, I guess you'd call it a godsend or whatever, because it's just been
absolutely
a gift.
Maybe a hell send or something.
Yeah, a hell send.
Something more thematically appropriate,
A demon send.
There we go.
I know. It's been a Leviathan send.
That's it. That's it. It's the Leviathan thing.
I look like I'm being blinded. Like I'm. The sun is going down and there is a shade, but it's very bright, isn't it? Is my picture annoying to you?
No, you're good. I was just sitting here adjusting mine too, and trying to misrepresent myself as somebody who has it more together than I actually do.
Oh, this is
There you
actually
go.
bright red, but you can't really tell. This is my little tabletop
Oh,
balloon
very cool.
lamp. It's actually very red, but not. Yeah. Gives you a nice red tone too on your face. So anyway, blah blah blah. So yeah, Hellraiser, craziness.
That's so cool. I did. I wanted to look you up. Feel like I got to know a little bit more about you before sitting down and taking any of your time. And it was
Right.
very quickly through your social media accounts that I came to realize you're bona fide. You've been a fan. It's not, oh, I'm a working actor who's taking this paid gig. You just told me, and I can see it over your shoulder. You have,
the action
yeah, exactly.
Up until a few weeks ago, this here, which is the Cruella. See, I love Emma Stone, and Cruella de Vil is my favorite Disney villain. And I know,
oh hell yeah,
they're gonna ruin her. They're gonna make her sympathetic. All this stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. It's Cruella de Vil and it's Emma Stone. So anyway, where I'm going is, up until a couple weeks ago, this was actually a great big poster of me as Pinhead. And
oh cool.
It's been a few years since the movie came out. I mean, this is Hellraiser. This is the original Hellraiser Judgment poster. This is Hellraiser. This is a pillow based on my Hellraiser face. That's Hellraiser. I'm like, let's tone down the room a little bit. Maybe a little less Hellraiser in the living room. I mean, I still have, Harry so much. Anyway, I don't know what my point was. Oh yeah, in reading the sides when I was first auditioning for the movie, I got the sides for those are what the actors read for a different role and for their roles. They're just in an email, and the movie was being called Judgment, and there was a vague description of it, a maze of horror, all this stuff. I'm like, wow, that sounds like an 80s horror film. That sounds familiar. So then I get the script and I'm reading for the auditor, which is the role that I didn't play that. I mean, Gary Thomas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And his first line is, "We have in the sizes, we have such sights to show you." And I'm like, it's a Hellraiser movie.
Ping, ping, ping. Yeah. That would throw up some flags for anybody.
I was already so into Hellraiser, and so it was. And then to be asked to audition for Pinhead was such a trip. And I thought there was no way. For about 5 minutes, I told myself, there's no way I'm going to get this part. And then I heard what I was telling myself and the universe, and I thought, that's not the right attitude. Let's make it the best audition we've ever done. So I did, and I got the part.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's a true... my love of horror goes way back to when I was a child, and Halloween was the best time of the year, like so many horror fans, like when we're growing up in the Midwest or wherever, and all we have for horror these days, it's changed because horror is just everywhere and so
it's different now. Yeah,
but I grew up in the middle of Kansas, in the 60s, 70s. So conservative household, I didn't really watch horror. Maybe some Vincent Price stuff when my grade school showed it, and I think my first movie I ever saw was The Raven. I think my first horror movie.
Okay.
But it was Price horror, so it's not really scary,
Yeah. There's a bit of distance between you and what's happening because it's very big Hollywood kind of stuff, and
he's so camp. It's just camp.
Over the top. Yeah.
When I did see Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black, have you ever
Karen
seen
Black?
that
Yeah, with the little tiny doll. Yeah. Of course.
It was Saturday night at the movies or something like that. I was the youngest of three. My parents were at wherever they were. Everyone was out of the house except me for the Saturday night. I had my Pizza Hut hamburger with extra cheese pizza, and I had Pepsi Light, or no, what was, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I'm home alone, and that Trilogy of Terror comes up, and I watched the first two stories, and they're like, ooh, creepy. But then that Zuni Fit, man.
Third one.
me out. And I had never been that scared from a movie before. And that was the 70s. And that's when I just first got that thing you get from a horror film where it's scary, yeah, but it's fun scary because it's on a screen. It's not going to get you. Although you might have nightmares about it later, or you might, or if it's Jaws, you might not be able to swim across the pool for a year, which I wasn't. I was sure
it was
a swimming pool. So,
everybody. Yeah.
But yeah, my parents wouldn't let me see The Exorcist when it came out. Yeah, just always wanted to be creepy and scary and unrecognizable, basically a monster, because I'm so not the way I'm presented in this body with this voice and this face. I'm not presented as a scary person. I don't present scary, but if you could get inside my mind, you'd realize I am pretty damn scary. What people see, and when it's not what I present, because it's not what I was raised to present or whatever, it's just not what the society and my world has made me. And so I'm a pretty non-threatening person, so to get to play monsters is the best thing in the world, because you just command. It gives you such power.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit like a man in drag, a little bit. And I don't mean that in any sort of way, except that when a man is in drag, and I don't mean like a drag queen, that's completely different. I don't even mean a gay thing necessarily. I mean when a man isn't, let's just go with Frankenfurter, because that's not really drag. That's
okay.
But the power and the magnetism that commands with an audience.
Absolutely. You can't take your eyes off them.
Yeah, and the otherness of that, it's a little bit like a horror film. It's shock, you can say anything and get away with it. There's that.
Absolutely.
If you look a certain way, because the audience is riveted, and they're ready to respond in some crazy. Either they're going to laugh at you, or they're going to be horrified, or whatever. And it just, the power of that, to have an audience in the palm of your hand, that's my drug, really. And have I missed theater for like everyone has missed everything that they enjoyed in life before the pandemic started. But man, that all the work just went away. So I haven't had my drug for over a year, and I look forward to it. Oh,
yeah, that'll be that first hit. That first hit will be memorable, I'm sure.
Let's just hope it's a good one. Let's hope it's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man,
it's crazy.
What a fantastic story. I feel like you represent the wish fulfillment of a million horror fans, to go from, it might not have been Trilogy of Terror, but we've all had that perfect storm of the quiet house and the right movie that pulls us in for life. That
yeah,
whatever that first experience is, they go from that point to wearing the makeup that is, at some point, whether somebody's an actor or not, everybody wants to be the icon. You know what I mean? And it's that's a hell of a story. A hell of a lot of people could probably draw inspiration from that. You're talking a little bit about the convention scene and how you've been embraced. Have people recognized your fandom?
I'm not sure I understand how to answer that. Have they recognized my fandom?
Do they when people meet you at conventions, do they oftentimes understand that you are somebody that's committed to horror, or do they just take you for the next Pinhead
I get it. Okay, thank you. If they've done some research and maybe read some interviews, or were keeping up with from the very beginning of Hellraiser Judgment being cast and finding out who I was, then they already know. But again, I don't really present, well, I was going to say as a typical horror person, but there is no such thing.
Nah, that's what I learned too.
About horror people, it's just like, there is no specific profile of a person who loves horror movies. It can be anybody who looks any way whatsoever. I think they do when they talk to me. I mean, just the fact that I took a Pinhead action figure and a puzzle box to my original audition and took it into the
oh man,
casting director it was a secret, and I pulled it out of my shopping bag and I'm like, I just brought this to my audition. He's like, oh yeah, what's the hell is that movie? You know, it was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, it's truly the experience of sitting there in the makeup trailer, getting turned into that specific monster by, Hollywood professionals. Just it was surreal because of the whole love of horror thing. And yeah, people recognize it if they talk to me long enough. They do
good.
recognize
I'm
not
really happy to hear that.
I'm not an expert on there are some genres of horror. There are some types of horror that I'm not a fan of, but and as for everyone, we all have our thing that we love about horror, and we have maybe some things that we're like, I don't need to see that.
Of course.
Yeah, but so there are some franchises or just some movies in general that I know nothing about because they don't interest me, or I saw them and thought they were bad movies. There are, because there is a lot of bad horror out there and a lot of bad movies out there, just in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there's bad horror, there's bad comedy, there's bad dramas, there's bad period pieces, whatever. But I know a lot of people who just love bad horror movies. I have this friend who
100%
brings up these movies and I'm like, whoa, I'll watch that. And I'm like, this is really terrible. It has a certain style, and I get that, but I can't watch it. I feel like I'm wasting my life watching it, that kind of thing. But whatever floats your boat.
Sorority babes in the slime ball bowl-orama is not going to be to everybody's liking. You know what I mean?
Linnea Quigley, right?
Isn't she another icon? Another icon.
I've met her I've been with her at a couple events. She's
wait, she delivers the line. What is this? Midnight Wimp Bowl? I don't even remember what it is. It's incredible. What a star! And you've done convention stuff with Linnea?
We were at the last one together, and then a couple months ago we did an event together. Yeah,
that's so cool.
She's fun.
Again,
her Felissa Rose. I mean, a lot of these same people I'm seeing again and again, and I'm like, I find out what movie they are most famous for, and I'm like, haven't seen that. Let me go watch that, and then I'll go watch it afterwards. But I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, of course not. Not everybody's gonna know Sleepaway Camp, and
I didn't know Sleepaway Camp till after I met Felissa Rose, and I'm like,
what a cool way to come to it.
She's made a career out of that movie. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
A convention career from Sleepaway Camp. She's constantly posing with people going.
The face.
It's that famous iconic shot at the end, and it's really incredible what you can accomplish if you just go. No, there's an audience. I mean, I have some friends who, the Osbournes, Samantha and Matt Osbourne, dear friends of mine, and Samantha also happens to be an agent, and she, I'm gonna get this story wrong, so I probably shouldn't even tell it.
Fair enough.
I think what happened was, I'm not even gonna do it. I don't even know, but I'll just not use specific names. There are actors who did horror movies 20, 30 years ago and and then moved on and forgot about it and have no idea that this movie is a cult hit with a horror audience who would love to see them at conventions. An agent
Of course.
comes out and says, listen, you really need to be doing, let me get you some events. And then they have these huge long lines because they've never been to a convention before. And people are like, oh my God, let me get her autograph. You know, it's
Right?
crazy.
There's so much love that we've all been waiting to share with those people.
Yeah, it's an infinite universe. The whole horror movies, low budget films, but so many using, real effects, not real effects, practical effects, same thing. But yeah, fun stuff. And I never, I'm not a Hollywood resident. I never have been. And so there have been, I did a lot more theater than I did movies back in the day when I was coming up. And so I don't really have a lot of the connections that many of these people do because I've never worked with, like, let's say some famous horror makeup director who makeup and effects artist who's done so many movies and is so super famous. And I know who he is, but I've never, we don't know each other. I don't know what my point was. I have no point. There. Just a statement.
Well, while you were getting to the point, you kind of poo-pooed your movie career, which is who you've worked with.
I didn't mean to do that. I mean, I got to do Sin City, which was very cool.
Exactly.
That was basically my first movie.
Something I wanted to ask you, Soul Men. Did you have a scene with Bernie Mac?
Yeah, I have a scene with Bernie Mac and Sam Jackson.
Oh, man.
I'm the manager of the Peabody Hotel, and they spend most of the movie getting to the Peabody Hotel, and then the movie moves on from there. But once they get to the Peabody, they've arrived at their great destination because, it's a super expensive hotel in Memphis. It is Memphis, isn't it? Yeah, because
Soul.
Elvis. They go to Presley. Oh my God, Elvis Presley's home. What's it called? Oh my God. Graceland. Thank you. So, yeah, they get to the hotel, and I'm the hotel manager, and I don't have a name. I'm hotel manager, and I think I have a name tag though. So I guess I play Don. I play Don, the hotel manager.
Okay.
And I'm just this little scene with him, little stuffy little guy who won't let him stay at their hotel until a big credit card is slapped down and by another person, and then they destroy the hotel room, and I call the police, and I have a little huffy moment, but it was great. Bernie Mac was so friendly on that set, and he was like just encouraging me and saying, no, make it more like Bernie Mac, you want this note in this scene, I'll play this note, I'll do whatever you want. So it was cool. And then Sam Jackson, I'm like, God, you're motherfucker.
Right.
Crazy. And now he's just like this huge. Well, he was already a freaking superstar, but now.
True. And we're lucky to still have him. And may Mac rest in peace. He's the best.
That was like his last movie was Soul Man, I think. I say that as if I know. And I'm pretty sure it was, which is, whatever that says about me, it says nothing about me. But I'd like to make the statement, I was in Bernie Mac's last movie. That's why I would like for that to be true, and I think it is, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check my facts. But
hey, it's incredible that too. Yeah. And he's not the only luminary that you've shared scenes with. It was cool going through your filmography today, and just being like, oh, a James Gunn movie. That's cool. He did Slither, so genre fans will be excited about that. I
love Slither. Slither is so great. Sorry, I have to check something.
No, please.
I'm sorry, I scheduled something. Not that's going to interfere with what we're doing. It's simply an eBay thing, so don't worry about it.
An eBay thing. All right.
You won't even know.
Are you selling more pieces of Pinhead skin?
Yeah, or maybe I'm buying some things, but I'm not going to go into it.
Oh, cool. That was one of the coolest pieces of merch that I've ever seen. I saw that there was Pinhead latex I'd imagine it was Pinhead flesh, but I don't see any wounds on your face, so I'd imagine it's maybe a latex.
No, it was like as soon as I had 3 days of shooting, and the makeup would come off. It was just 2 large pieces in the lower lip, and the makeup would come off and it would disappear. They'd take off the pins and it would disappear. And then a couple years later, it shows up at the prop store, the auction for Hellraiser Judgment, and people are bidding on it and buying pieces of my flesh. And then apparently cutting it up even smaller, because I've seen little tiny pieces that people have bought. I'm like, okay. And
wow.
I've actually also signed some of that skin. I'm like, I'm not sure you want to take that out of that hermetically sealed package, but whatever. But I've signed some things, and it's really cool. That
is really cool. Really
so
cool.
Weird. It's so weird.
So what's the weirdest convention story so far? Anything out of the ordinary? Okay, I won't push it.
Story. No, I have one but it was somebody else's story, and I was just a witness, so I don't want to tell that one. Can't use names. And it's not actually very entertaining.
We'll keep it under wraps.
I don't know. I think
nobody is really scaring the shit out of you with being too into it or anything.
No, I wouldn't say anyone's ever scared me. I have been annoyed. I can get annoyed.
Yeah. Well, presses Pinhead's buttons.
I'm also very polite and good at.
Okay.
I'm not unkind. I get it, but I don't think
enough's enough sometimes, huh?
Weird convention stories. It's just or maybe I just have a boring life at the conventions. I don't really go out much. I hardly drink at all these days. I don't do drugs. So there's no party life for me at a convention, really. Maybe if someone else is having drinks in their room or something and they're friends of mine, I'd go do that. I've been out to some, restaurants and bars and stuff, but no, it was really, I got to go to London a couple years ago to London Film and Comic-Con, and that wasn't weird. It was just wonderful. It was just such a cool experience to get to go there. And man, I look like I'm on fire, don't I? It's like,
oh, you should be,
That's red. It was really cool because of the stars that were in the green room with me, and I'm like, you're David Duchovny, you're Jason Momoa, you're Adrienne Barbeau,
whoa,
these people. There are more of them. Just it's these huge stars. I'm like, wow. That first year that I was I don't even know if the movie had come out yet, but the first
your life was already starting to change.
Yeah, the first year I was going to conventions, I got to go to some really great places, and hopefully that will pick up again. But I was kind of a shiny new toy, and then I don't know. I think that things happened. I won't go into names or personalities or things that happened specifically, but I just sort of that kind of went away a little bit for a while, and now it's coming back, and I'm getting to do a lot of events again, which is great. I'm so great.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah, it's really great.
I'm excited to follow that from a distance, and just I having just watched Hellraiser Judgment again last night. I'm so excited to see fans embrace you, because I can't really see anybody watching that movie and thinking that you were unfaithful to whatever source material. If you want to go back to the first movie, if you want to go back to Clive Barker's story, I think that you really tapped into a thread that runs through you, through Doug Bradley, right back to the writing, and it was wonderful to see. I loved the movie. Reminded me of some of the Hellraiser comic book stories where I just loved it was a movie filled with ideas. It felt like taking we have all this mythos, all this myth, you'll have to pardon the pledging in the background. It was a demon spawn. That was the Leviathan making that sound. And now I forget what I was.
Well, you're talking about the writing and the whole Clive Barker, the base of it and
yes.
Yeah, it really respected source material, the comic books, all of it. Yeah, and I think that really started with Gary Tunnicliffe, because he did Pinhead makeup for many of the movies. He did Clive Barker's. I mean, he did Doug Bradley's.
Way back to number 3, right?
Yeah, well, he wasn't doing Doug's makeup in number 3, but that was the first movie he worked on. In number 3, He was making the puzzle boxes. And then he became a puppeteer, and he was doing all kinds of things. And he would do anything for Clive Barker. And that's the beauty of it, is that he would do anything. And he wanted Hellraiser Judgment to be Doug Bradley's last movie as Pinhead, because he hated Doug's his last line, his last big line in a Hellraiser movie was, "How's that for a wake-up call?" And which is kind of
that's Freddy, not Pinhead,
Freddy, exactly. And he wanted to direct Doug in a Hellraiser film, and he knows the comic books, he knows the source material, he loves Clive Barker. It really came from his heart and soul, and he knows what he's doing with not a lot of money. I mean, that movie is a $350,000 movie. That is not a lot of money for a movie that looks that good, Yeah,
it doesn't look like 350. It looks like
I know,
10 times that.
Thanks, I say thanks. I had nothing to do with how it looks, but many people rank it up there with as being one of their top 3. Some people it's their favorite, which I'm like, oh, okay, that great.
Wow. Thanks. Yeah.
But some people, it's in their top 3 or 4, and I'm like, that, or 5. And I'm like, that's fantastic, considering what the budget was, considering how many have been made before it. It's unexpected for something that's the 10th movie in a horror franchise. For hardcore fans to go, no, thank you.
Yeah.
We got some of the original Hellraiser flavor, and I'm like, now if we could just get back to a place where it's about sadomasochism and there's more of the psychosexual stuff in it, then that would be going back to the original source material. But apparently, when Bob Weinstein, who no longer owns the franchise. Obviously, the Weinsteins had a little problem a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They lost the franchise, but apparently Bob Weinstein doesn't like psychosexual stuff. He'd rather just have boobies. So, instead.
And that's clear with a lot of franchises that they've helmed throughout the years. It's kind of gotten away from what people loved about it and became what's marketable about that particular type of movie.
Exactly.
Which is a shame. But
that's what set Hellraiser apart, was that, S&M, whoa.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not.
That's some stuff we're not
hockey mask with. Machete. Exactly. It was really, really something different.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It would be great to see the franchise stray back to something like that. Would that be something you would like to explore as an actor?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've had ideas for a direct sequel to Judgment, and Gary has had ideas. Our ideas they do differ a bit, but my ideas would definitely harken back to sadomasochism, because at the end of Judgment, spoiler alert, yes, at the end of Judgment, Pinhead is once again been depinned and is back on Earth, and he is in human form, and he's basically a homeless person, and that's the last we see of him. So there's no reason why we can't fast forward a few years, and this person, this everyman who was Pinhead, who's not necessarily Elliot Spencer, many
I don't think so,
have held the rank of lead Cenobite,
priest like that.
But perhaps he's in politics, or he owns an S&M club, or he's just, I don't know, he's just really into pain and tortures people because he's a freaking, look what it's done to him. Look, all the knowledge he has and all the frustration he has from that being taken away from him. And all it was his arrogance, but he really likes the pain because that's obviously what it's about. Really, really, wow. It's that I look like I'm in a campfire, don't I? I'm spooky.
You're a horror icon. This is what the people want. The people want spooky from you. So it's a good camera setup to have.
It's crazy. Anyway, yeah. And Gary has some ideas as well, and it could very well, it could have been really great. When the Weinsteins lost the franchise, it kind of took away the chances of a direct sequel to Judgment. So I don't know what's going to happen next, because I do believe that Clive Barker once again owns the franchise. If he doesn't now, then he will very soon. I think he does, and which is great for the franchise, So whatever happens next, I've heard rumors of a remake. I mean, a real, big budget, and I've heard that there's a series being made, a TV series. I'm like, they haven't called me, and I don't expect them to, but whatever happens, Hellraiser is going to continue on, and a direct sequel to Judgment could be a hell of a kickoff place. Starting with Joe Field. Joe Field's relationship. The whole deal was, there was a scene that was shot that is not in the movie.
Ooh. Tell me.
And well, there's a scene, obviously she's ripped apart, but she's an angel, so she's not a human, so she can look however she wants to. So there's a scene after Pinhead is gone that she is in red cardinal robes, and she's being indoctrinated as a cardinal in the Catholic Church. She's back on Earth, but now she's going to be working for the church. So obviously there's that whole thing that we discovered in Judgment where, she lets Pinhead in on the fact that we want these serial killers on Earth. We want these horrible...
Oh my God, that could be expanded.
Yeah, we want the fear so that people will look towards God, because but actually God is like the puppeteer, the grand puppeteer. It's really interesting, and they could have really, really done something with that. And that also harkens back a bit to some of the comic books. I mean, a female lead Cenobite, which is a really awesome thing. So I don't know what's going to happen, but as Gary says, until I'm on the set and somebody says action, I really, nothing's happening yet. So
anything could happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything could happen.
Have you taken a look at the, I guess they're like makeup tests that Gary Tunnicliffe did for his reimagining of Pinhead with a more bloodier.
Yeah.
It was nasty looking.
He started exploring that. When he had another script that he presented to be made into a Hellraiser film, and that was his reimagining. And I think that it was decided by someone else. Maybe the movie didn't get made. I think it just didn't get made, but it was related to that. He was just doing some tests. Yeah, it's so gory and fabulous. And how would it really look? Well, it would look like that. I mean, in a certain, and we kind of got that in Revelations. We kind of got, see, that's the element about Revelations I liked, was the fact that Pinhead made another Pinhead in his likeness. The arrogance of that, I love that. So, but then there's also the No More Souls, the fan film that Gary made several years ago, where he played an old Pinhead. It was very like Judgment, in that he was Pinhead, but he was old. All the sensation, there was no sensation left because no more souls, and he wants to die, and which actually is kind of related to the Scarlet Gospels in a way, because have you read that book?
No, I've only gotten through the first half of the Hellbound Heart.
Ah. Oh God, I love that book. Hellbound
It's
Heart
on my
is-
nightstand right now.
It's so good, isn't it? And the descriptions of the Cenobites, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, really cool stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not distracted. And I know I keep looking down. There's just
No, it's my fault. I'm not asking interested enough questions. Are you?
It has nothing to do with you.
No, I'm just teasing you.
Seriously, it's this thing that is timed wrong that I didn't remember that I was into. There's like 10 items. I'm not winning any of them because
that's a shame.
I'm not bidding enough. No, it's okay. I'm not going to spend $160 on a magazine, but yeah, they're like horror magazines
Oh, cool.
It's not happening. It's not happening. I just keep trying, and I'm like, no, okay, that's okay. Just another thing. Yeah.
They'll come back around, those fish, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everything will come back in the wash.
So
the reason you didn't get this deal today is because a better deal for a more pristine copy will come down the line sometime soon, I'm sure.
That is exactly right.
I wanted to ask you, do you still wear David Arquette's scarf that he gave you?
I do, man. I need to get it cleaned. It has to be dry cleaned.
You got Dewey on the scarf.
That was so cool.
Who wants to wash that off?
I was hanging out with David Arquette and Joe Mang
him.
The guy from the Matrix. The guy from the
Matrix
and the Sopranos. Joey, you know who I mean.
I do. Not Magnolia.
Sorry, Joe, I can't remember your last name. Someone will know for sure, but yeah, I was hanging out with them and Fiona Dourif, and I'm like, Fiona Dourif, we were in the green room, and she just goes, "Yeah, I really like nepotism." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure you do."
Nepotism from Brad Dourif's daughter. That's amazing.
It's so funny.
I'm so excited that she's in these Chucky movies, and this. I think she's going to be in the Chucky series now. That was really cool.
She's really great. Yeah.
Whoever's daughter she is, she was great in House of Chucky.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I've always loved the Chucky movies. I love them.
There's not the way they adapt with the times and stuff. Well, no, I don't think it's too many people's favorites, but just the way that series has grown with the times and Seed of Chucky's an interesting one, but again, it has some cool ideas in it, and then some ideas that didn't age quite as well.
Yeah, I just love Meg Tilly. I mean Jennifer Tilly. I love them both.
She's the best. They're both the best.
I'm Jennifer Tilly, right? That's who I mean.
Jennifer Tilly, is the bride of Chucky. Tiffany.
I love her little voice. God.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Man, that's got to be the coolest, hanging out with these genre luminaries, shooting the shit with David Arquette, Fiona Dourif. That's Again, you are wish fulfillment incarnated for so many of us. You're one of us, but you're also up there. You know what I mean? You're the dude with the
I love that.
the shit nailed into your head.
I love that. You know what? You know what happened? It came to me. The job and what I'm experiencing right now in my life, it came to me. It's not like I necessarily did the right things to get it. It just I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. There
was no path to Pinhead.
There really wasn't. And yet it seems like it was exactly what was supposed to happen. It's kind of poetic or something that I got to play that role. It's so weird. It's just so weird. I mean, he was always my favorite 80s horror icon. I have all these action figures. I have the handmade puzzle box. I mean, I have the Screamin' Company's puzzle box that you glue together. I have all this stuff, and I moved back from New York to Texas after 9/11 because I'm just like, oh man, I didn't think I was ever going to come back, but here I am. I lived in Texas again. Then I find out I have hepatitis C because I'm donating plasma because I'm so broke. So then 7 years go by where I'm just like hating my life because I feel like shit all the time. And I go back to the doctor and I say, look, I know you didn't offer me the cure before because I wasn't that bad with my liver and stuff, but I'm telling you, I'm gathering pills. I'm going to kill myself. I'm miserable. Please help me. She said, you must have heard about this new treatment. I said, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. She said, well, it must have been overshadowed by the death of Osama bin Laden. So that gives you, it gives you sort of a timeline. She's like, do you want to do a drug trial? I said, yes, please let me do a drug trial. So obviously I didn't get the placebo. I was cured of hepatitis C. Then I get my life back. Then I'm like, now what? I was all prepared for death. Now what's going to happen? And then I get offered this opportunity to be Pinhead. And it's like, yeah, I understand suffering. Yeah, dude. I just
wow.
Crazy. It's kind of, I feel like I earned it in a way, which is weird.
It was written, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't really, it's not like I moved to LA and worked really, really, really hard and met all these people and met, you know, the Weinsteins or Clive Barker or anybody. I didn't, you know, I hardly gave the film thing a shot at all. And when I lived in New York, because I was going for theater all the time. And then suddenly I moved back to where I never thought I'd move back to. And now I'm Pinhead. It's shot in Oklahoma City. It's just like, whoa. I mean, is that just, it just makes me wonder, was I just going to be Pinhead all this time? Or is there no such thing as that? Nothing is pre-planned and it just happened because I was there, but there's no such thing as, I mean, that's totally right place, right time, obviously. It's just so crazy, but it seems to me like it's just chance. Like, if it wasn't me, it would have been some other actor playing the role. It wouldn't have been me because I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have lived in Dallas. It's
you know what I think? Here's my theory. Clive Barker writes a work of fiction that is nonetheless inspired by some sort of forces that are still at work today that guided everything that needed to get to you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there was something else at work to put you in that role because it just feels right, and it should. I mean, like that's a risk that I don't know too many people would take. Be like, yeah, I'm not Doug Bradley. Let me do this, but it worked, and not that it shouldn't have worked or anything like that, but it just and it gave me such hope for other franchises that I love. That there are people out there, you know, that aren't Robert Englund that nonetheless could do a hell of a Freddy Krueger if we'd only let them. Paul T. Taylor's at the top of my list. I'd love to see that.
I'm a funny guy, dude. I could fucking play Freddy Krueger. I just need a bigger nose. But can you imagine the fans? They'd be like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's.
And now he's going to play Freddy Krueger. Man, I hate that guy. That's what be. But you know, you brought up an interesting thing when you brought up the fact that it's not wish fulfillment, but it's a fan's fondest dream. That's not how you put it either, but you know what I mean. You brought it up
of course.
Times. Maybe some of the hate comes from that.
I think it does. Jealousy.
But it's a jealousy thing, and it's easy to be hateful from behind a keyboard too. It's really
sure
easy.
Is.
You know, and to basically go fuck that guy. I mean, that's basically the attitude of many, many people. And you know, there are happy horror people who love horror, and there are a lot of people who are completely miserable with who they are, who also love horror because it can be so cruel, and they see people punished constantly and torn apart and ripped, you know, all that shit. And it's crazy world, man. Because that's I can't name who my fans are. I cannot specifically. I have, you know, I think
Bill Reick.
Huh?
Bill Reick is one of them. You can name a fan now.
Thank you. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Anybody that's giving you that kind of flack, I don't think they could have been paying attention. Because to feel that devoted to anything, but to misunderstand when somebody does it justice doesn't. And I mean, I'm not saying that those people aren't entitled to whatever shit opinion they want to have, but come on, if you truly love Pinhead, if you truly love Hellraiser, A, you're happy that there's a new movie, and B, you should recognize when somebody knocks it out of the park, like Paul T. Taylor did.
I had good direction too. I mean, Tunnicliffe did a really good job of directing me.
To have somebody that close, that's been that close to the franchise for that long, helming that movie, it just seems like not just helmet. He did like quadruple duty with
he
Judgment.
Did so much.
God damn.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, he wrote it, directed it, designed it. He played a major character in it. He just kept it going, knowing what the budget was. Every second was filled with work. He knew exactly what he was doing. It's so crazy.
Well, so it didn't even feel chaotic on set. It felt like everybody, he had it under control.
There was one moment that felt chaotic, but that was because of a silly choice I made.
Tell me about that.
And it led to, well, okay, there's in every Hellraiser movie that's ever been done before, there's at least one line where smoke comes out of Pinhead's mouth, and like, we'll tear your soul apart. All this smoke comes out, or cold, whatever it is. It's either smoke or it's steam. Mm-hmm. So he wanted that on the line, evil seeks evil, for me. And so I was smoking anyway, just as part of my work to play Pinhead, because not a typical character for me. I wanted my voice to be more raspy, and I like smoking, unfortunately. But so I started smoking for all those reasons, and so that I could on the set just take a puff and say the line, and it would be perfect, and we'd move on. Well, we're on the set, and I had told Gary, I've been smoking for you so that we can just do that. And he's like, okay, great. And the voice thing, well, obviously they messed with my voice anyway, so it didn't matter. That certainly was not a reason to be smoking. My voice was altered so much that it wouldn't have mattered. But I wanted that to be easy,
Yeah, of course.
I end up, I did the first take, and he's like, no, not enough's coming out. Try it again. And I do another one. He's like, no, try it again. And no, just suck it really deep it down there, and then now try it. Say it twice, and now just a little bit, and try it, and just right in there. Now suck it in. And suddenly, he's like, Paul, we're going to stop for a minute. I think Paul's not doing okay. I had a nicotine overdose. And
whoa!
I'd never had a nicotine overdose before. You could tell through the makeup. Maybe I was just weaving. Maybe I just couldn't. I was just, anyone who's ever had a nicotine overdose, and it's so much worse than a caffeine overdose. Oh my God. It's just, oh my God.
That sounds brutal.
It was brutal. And they had to stop filming, and I had to go outside, and I was sure that I'd ruined the shoot. I was never going to work again. I was having a panic attack on top of the nicotine overdose. And I'm in this high up neck thing, and I can't breathe anyway. And I'm just trying to get oxygen, and just sitting there, and I have these contacts in, and just like, I'm Pinhead, and I'm just dying on this part that goes up into the trailer. And I'm like, I don't know how long I was out there, because I lost track of time. Probably 20 minutes, maybe 15. They went on and they filmed something else. So that was definitely a mishap. That was something that I wish had not happened. And it wasn't until later that Gary actually said, if that hadn't happened, there was one moment where you would have had a close-up, but you don't have a close-up because the script supervisor, when we went back to get it, said, oh, no, we have that. And we didn't. So he told me what the moment was, and I just was like, oh man, I wish you had not told me that. because it's this beautiful moment where it would have been Pinhead's first big close-up in the final scene, where it's right after he pushes the auditor aside, and he gets right up in David's face. He says, "The thing about your da-da-da was so filthy that blah 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 blah. It made I puke and blah blah blah." So instead, they had to cut to the action of those characters that I'm talking about.
Oh.
And I hear the dramatic strings are leading to the line and just building up to it, and then just like I push him aside, and it's not me. I'm like, oh god,
That sucks.
I've gotten over it now, but it was a perfect Pinhead's first close up.
The money shot, yeah.
It was the money shot, and that freaking script supervisor,
son of a gun.
But the reason they moved on, they had to move on and shoot something else. When I was having my nicotine overdose. And then we went back 2 days later, I think. And then we're going to get that later. So we go back to do it again, and there's a crew member, and he's like, "Here's a vape for you. It's cherry flavor. It's way down. Nicotine. We'll do the line now." So we do the line, and it comes out great. And I'm thinking, I suggested this, but Gary said no. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Smoke would have looked better, but when you see, there's nothing. I say the line, and there's nothing coming out. But I have tried that line since then. I mean, it's been a few months ago. I was like, I'm going to see if I can do that line now with cigarette smoke. And I try it again and again and again. It's just evil seeks evil. And I challenge anyone to make smoke come out of your mouth saying evil seeks evil, as well as it comes out of your mouth saying, "We'll tear your soul apart."
No way. The elocution's just not the same.
Your mouth is like this.
Evil seeks evil. Yeah, you're right.
You need the apart. But that's been a recent discovery. So that's my Pinhead challenge for the listeners.
Hell yeah, let's make it a viral thing.
Get a pack of cigarettes and film yourself saying, "We'll tear your souls apart," and post that along with your attempt to take a drag and say, "Evil seeks evil," and make the smoke come out. And it's just a little Pinhead challenge for you.
Put hashtag Paul for Pinhead next to it, so we can catalog it.
You could do that, yeah. And
yeah.
Also hashtag
evil seeks evil.
Don't smoke.
Yes, and the hashtag don't do this at home.
Yeah. I'm not really doing those hashtags anymore because I sort of gave up on Paul for Pinhead. Now that's a terrible thing, and that's not a good choice with the unit for me to be doing manifesting things with the universe. But when the Weinsteins lost the franchise and there was all this talk of this other stuff going on, I'm like, you know what? I got to play Pinhead, and that's a great thing. And it's elevated. I have to just be grateful for that and move on. So anyway, but yeah, I do love the hashtag Paul for Pinhead.
Me too.
Maybe it will do some magic. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know who's actually in charge of the evolution of Hellraiser at this point. I have no idea. I'm just like, I've met Doug, I've met Clive, I've met a bunch of the original Cenobites. I've gotten to meet some really groovy people because of it. And I have like this new, it's this sort of a career. It's not a full career, but the convention thing, it's like, wow, thanks for the complimentary income. That's lovely.
That's got to be nice. A bunch of.
I don't really make enough for the IRS to care. I'm saying that.
Oh, that's even better.
Just in case it matters. I shouldn't even bring it up. No,
they don't watch this YouTube channel. I'm sure of it.
Probably not.
I think it's hosted in the UK anyhow. So.
True. That's a true thing.
International waters, we're squared away.
Oh, I should have been speaking in a British accent. I'm working on auditions for a play right now that takes place in England, London, but more specifically, I can't remember the name of the town where it starts, but it's a play that is wonderful called the Curious Incident of the Dog in the
In the
Nighttime.
nighttime.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know it. It's
I know
such
the book. I read the book.
Right. Well, it's a play based on the book, and
Ah,
I'm
brilliant.
working on my audition for that for a local theater that's doing a production. Hopefully, they'll have equity contracts, and hopefully, I'll get cast. But
Hell
I think
yeah.
of all the dialects, British is my strongest. Outside of, hey, I'm from Kansas. You know.
Don't get too much further removed from London than Kansas.
I know.
Maybe
It's so crazy.
they're kind of further.
Maybe Zimbabwe. I have no idea.
So, in addition to the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime, what else can people look out for you in soon? Is there anything that will be released with your name in it soon? Hopefully, with your name in the end credits this time.
There's something very. You noticed, huh? Isn't that crazy?
Oh my god! Because I paused it.
Story.
Because my favorite thing to do is pause the movie and be like, I get to talk to that person tomorrow, and then I didn't freaking see your name.
There's a freaking story there. You want to hear it?
Tell me. I do.
Okay, so the DVD comes out. Of course, I'm one of the first to buy it. I'm watching it at home. The end credits come up. I'm not in them. I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
How did they? So I get in touch with Dimension Films,
as one should,
and or my agent does. I get a phone call at my day job from someone calling from Beverly Hills from the area code. He's so sorry. He's so sorry that this happened. It was complete oversight. They did such a rush job or what, I don't know. We give this list of names to this other person and they did it. And apparently it's just your name was inadvertently left off. We're so sorry. In any future, release, those have all been printed already. So we can't fix that, but in any future releases, your name will be in the end credits. We're so sorry. And we're going to send you the full movie just on, with no barriers. You can do whatever you want with it. They emailed me in 3 different sections. They emailed me the whole movie, which is great. I have it. I could just download it. And they're like, so sorry. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to be okay with that. Okay, so we hang up. Less than 5 minutes later, I get a text from the same area code saying, by the way, that was no accident. What? Yeah. Sketchy people. I'm telling you.
What does that mean?
I know. What the fuck does that mean? Who did that? Who caused that? Is it because I'm not Doug Bradley?
I was going to say, is Doug Bradley secretly?
I don't think Doug
he's probably the coolest.
I think
no, of course he did.
I think it had to do with just the whole. They didn't want. Maybe they thought they were going to fool people. They don't want
Oh! Now I understand.
To get that Doug Bradley wasn't in this movie. Maybe they'll fool them, and no one will know. But the funny thing is, Gary Tunnicliffe did the opening credits sequence.
And your name's right there.
My name there. He put my name on the typewriter and burned the paper and filmed Paul T. Taylor as Pinhead. And thank God, because otherwise I wouldn't have a credit in that. Isn't that wacky? It's like,
Paul, I didn't even think of the implication of somebody wanting to dupe people with that. Of course, that was on purpose.
Could have been an oversight, but really, you left Pinhead off of the Hellraiser movie? Really?
It's almost as if the people running that Dimension Films weren't the best people.
You think? You think Harvey Weinstein's brother maybe was not? I don't know. I shouldn't
it's
speak.
Fucking egregious.
They produced Soul Man. So what are you gonna do? They were on the set of Soul Man when I worked that day.
Oh my God.
It's a crazy world though. I was like, wow, you motherfuckers. Movie people can be just as bad as any other business people I know. But it's just like, what the fuck? But to get that, I would have been fine if I hadn't received that text. But it's like, by the way, that was no accident. What the?
That sucks.
Who is this? Same area code, but not the same number. I'm like, what?
I hope that
that's a mystery that will never be answered. Will never be
of
solved.
course, it'll be lost to the annals of horror history.
Yeah.
But
that's
I
the
hope
first time I've talked about it publicly. So now you have it, which is great.
Exclusive. Hell yeah.
I want people to know.
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
I love seeing it is a disgrace. I love seeing my name in the end credits. And it's like, I wonder if it's in the UK release. They said from now on it'll be in all of the releases. I should check and see.
Next summer I'll go buy a copy in Oxford and check it out for you. No, I'm sorry, Christmas I'm going. Okay. I'll check it out then. I'll see if I can.
God bless it. Anyway, you were asking me about other things. I have a movie that I shot a couple years ago. Well, not a couple, but it was shot pre-COVID. So, but then it wasn't, there are all kinds of things that I worked on that didn't get released because of COVID. So, but that will be released, but should have been already released or gone to,
of course,
and stuff. Missed that. But there's a movie called Sick for Toys that was already released. There's a movie produced by the same people who produced Sick for Toys, called Roadhead, which is about all the things a movie titled Roadhead might be about. It's a comedy horror movie. It's not a huge role, but I am in the credits. I have a few scenes.
For sure.
It's more of a cameo than anything. And that's going to be released very soon. I just got an email today about that. We need your bio, so that's going to be coming out. Roadhead.
Okay. Roadhead. We'll check out Roadhead.
And really, a movie that I worked on that shut down right at the week after I did my scenes, called Bob and Amy. It's a comedy. I mean, a lot of people who are listening to this might not care, but it's a comedy I got to do. I don't know when it's going to be released though. They had to go back and refilm a bunch of the stuff because the woman playing the wife in that is now pregnant and didn't want to come back and film the rest, so they had to recast her and shoot all this stuff all over again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. COVID just really messed up everything. So other than that, I really don't have. Oh wait, no. Here's one. There's going to be a movie called Butcher's Bluff. I play a Texas sheriff in this, and it's kind of an '80s throwback horror film, slasher horror film. Yeah, with a masked villain, or masked. I guess you'd call him the protagonist because he's the star of the movie, but he's the one killing everyone. So. Is that a protagonist or an antagonist? I'm not sure. But
maybe an anti-hero.
An anti-hero. He's a new masked slasher is what he is.
We love those.
That's fun. It's a low budget, and but I think it's going to look great, but it's going to have that feel of an 80s slasher film, which is what they were really going for. And, some people, that's their jam. So I'm hoping that that's a huge success, even if it's just, merely a cult success. I'm hoping that when it does get released, that's huge. And I'm looking forward to working with Billy Pon, otherwise known as Bloody Bill, who a few years ago did a movie called Circus of the Dead, starring Bill Oberst Jr., who's kind of a cult hero in the horror world, a bigger star than I am in the horror world, who played Papa Corn, the clown Papa Corn in this movie. And he was actually also in Butcher's Bluff. Small world. But Billy Pon, otherwise known as Bloody Bill, if anyone can actually follow what I'm saying, congratulations. You're following it, because there's Bill, there's Bloody Bill, there's William Oberst, there's all these people. But Bloody Bill, Billy Pon's nickname, is putting together a film called Cowboys from Hell. So that's going to be, I'm going to be in that. I don't know what my role is going to be, but it's going to be cowboys and demons. So that'll be fun. I hope I'm a demon. I hope I kill and am not killed. I don't like being killed in movies.
Can't blame you. Seems like it's for the birds, really.
Yeah, well, I did a really serious drama a couple years ago that would have been released by now, but because of COVID, it wasn't. But it's going to be. called Whitetail, and I get killed in that, and it was quite brutal. But it was the biggest. I'm so proud of the work I did because it's a drama and it's character driven and it's fear driven, but it's not a horror film at all. It's a thriller, and it's about family, it's about relationships, but it's also about bad guys and good guys, and who are the bad guys, who are what, it's about morals, all these things, and there's a lot of guns and there's murder, and it's
okay. That's exciting.
I'm really looking forward to that because it is a huge role, and people have described me as being sort of the heart of the movie, only because my character is probably the most vulnerable. And that's nice after Pinhead and this other stuff that I've been doing, to just be like exposed and just raw and really, tears, crying, whatever, all that stuff. And then there's something that we're working on that Gary Tunnicliffe and I are hopefully going to be doing, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to be a horror clown movie, and I'm playing the lead clown in that. But I don't know when, because right now it's the same people who produced Roadhead and also produced Sick for Toys, which is another movie that I'm in. So this same guy, this friend of mine who moved to LA many, many, many years ago, has put me in 2 movies, and now he's written this third one called Chorophobia, and that's the fear of clowns, and cast me as the lead clown. And so it's nice to have people that you have relationships with. So there's stuff in the works. We just had to get things back to where they were in a way, in a safe way. And I'm getting my second vaccine shot on next Tuesday, so that'll be good.
Oh, nice.
And then
go for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll be bionic. So
and
anyway,
get back to feeling the love from fans at conventions.
Yeah, it is the best. I love it so much.
Man, I'm excited to keep an eye out for Butcher's Bluff and for Roadhead and for Whitetail. I'm in it. I hope somebody reaches out to me and puts it across my email like with this, because that would be cool to get to talk to you about a different project.
There was another thing too. I shot a film. I shot a scene with Tony Todd, Candyman.
Whoa!
In a movie called Night Night. And it's a drama, and I didn't ever get the whole script to read because I was in one scene with Tony Todd. I'm the judge, he's a lawyer. But it was just so cool. I met Tony Todd, and he's like, well, we have a true Clive Barker connection. I'm like, so that's really cool.
That is cool.
Tony Todd. And he told me, because he's done it, he's shot a Candyman movie since then, hasn't he? Or something?
Yeah. There's a new reimagining Nia DaCosta's Candyman.
He mentioned a 3-picture deal. Now I don't know if that's actually a true fact or not.
Oh,
I hope
another
so. And maybe I'm
Dark
not
Universe exclusive.
Too late. I already said it. Nobody told me it was a secret. But maybe he told me and I forgot. It was a long time ago. But let's let the people know.
Yeah, we're leaking Clive Barker info here. That's amazing.
Exactly. If I had info about Doug Bradley, I'd leak it. I'd be like, yeah, Hellraiser fans, Doug Bradley's going to be Pinhead again. Just take that much and just say that I said that. I have no idea.
We have our headline.
According to Paul Taylor, Doug Bradley's going to play Pinhead again.
So I kind of get the feeling that you would be. Well, I'll ask you, would you go and see a Hellraiser movie that that gets made in the future if you're not Pinhead?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I would. I mean, if it's not okay. If it's Doug Bradley, definitely. If it's not Doug Bradley or me, I'm like, oh, why isn't it me? That would be my.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I know why it's not me because it's Doug Bradley.
Of course, it's Doug Bradley.
Someone else. Although, if it's a TV series or something like that, where they're doing a reimagining and I don't know, Pinhead's genderless or a woman or really, really young and hot or whatever. Okay, that's the thing. That's what they went with. Or if they just we're doing a new Pinhead for the young people. So young,
even
Zac
flipped up leather. Zac Efron's Pinhead.
Yeah.
Skateboarding.
I'll probably see whatever, because I gave up on I didn't give up, but all the really great hopes I had before about playing Pinhead again, which evolved from being told things on the set, such as, pretty sure if you want this gig, it's yours. I mean, when you hear that on your last day of
It's
filming,
kind of hard to misinterpret that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then #MeToo happens and you see all of it just crumble away. It kind of gives you time to just pause and go, well, okay. That was fun while it lasted, and I got to play Pinhead. So I got to just take what I got and be grateful for it.
Nobody can take that away from you.
He can't be, exactly. That's exactly it. Being bitter about it is just a really bad choice. Really stupid, sad choice to make. So
it's kind of like it's better to have loved and lost than to never have been Pinhead at all,
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see somebody with a proven track record as Pinhead. If we're going to see more stories, I'd love for it to be with somebody who we know did a good job, and it's not just Zac Efron on a skateboard.
No, it needs to be Paul T. Taylor, and the movie starts out, and he owns an S&M club, or even a chain of get it? A chain of S&M clubs all over the world, and he flies, and he's rich, and he's also in politics, and he, I don't know, sells babies' foreskins. I don't know what he does. He does all kinds of evil things, but I just threw that foreskins thing in there. He eats babies' foreskins.
He's definitely doing something bad with these babies' foreskins.
I got a twisted world up here. There's all kinds of places you could go with that, but he wants to. Who knows?
What if Pinhead was doing Pizzagate? It was all Pinhead the whole time. That was QAnon. He's Q. Pinhead's QAnon. That's the
Q. Oh my God, we called him Q-tip. No, that's already taken. That's already taken. What?
Too bad. What could have happened if Q-tip hadn't already been taken by the lead rapper from A Tribe Called Quest?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I just carry on, and maybe somebody will, maybe somebody with that bit of power that makes those decisions goes, wow, a lot of fans are liking him, and he said this in this interview, and blah 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 blah, and I've seen him, and he's sure, just give him a phone call. That could still happen. It could happen, but I have no eggs in that basket anymore. I'm like, let's just keep doing what I do.
Hey, what a good mindset to have.
I think you have to, otherwise you're just gonna be miserable. And why?
Yeah.
It's all about choices. It's playing the role elevated my profile as an actor. It made more people want to work with me, and that alone is, quite a great thing. So
absolutely, it is.
I'm happy about it.
Don't know that I would have had the chance to speak with you had that not happened. So I'm grateful for your work, just because there are so many people who would have done a shitty Pinhead, and you weren't one of them. You know what I mean?
Thanks. Yeah. A part of it was also that I think that Gary has said that he knew that I would look a bit like Doug in the makeup, which is great.
Yeah, you did. As much as I'm sure actors want to hear that they were made it their own and stuff, you did look like it looked.
Yeah, I had to honor what came before me, and I wanted to honor what came before me. But taking that script, though, it had to be something different because it was Pinhead from a different sort of time in his existence. He's older, he's more jaded. Things have gone on or not. Things have happened or not happened. He's disappointed. He's bored. It's different. So, yeah.
And it was cool. It was a movie with ideas, and I like that.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's the first time, besides that fan film that Gary made, it's the first time that we've seen Pinhead on a throne made of stones, which I think is very cool. I love
Yeah, yeah,
the
that's
throne thing, just sitting in his office, if you will. And it's kind of like I've described it as Office Space from hell, even though Office Space is obviously a comedy. But but it is. It's like everyone has their cubicle where they exist, and Pinhead just sits there and listens to the screams of agony and thinks about the good old days and like, what can we do? I'm so bored.
he's
But I
the
kind
Michael
of
Bolton from Office Space of
exactly,
hell.
exactly, exactly.
You mentioned fan films. We live in a time now where fan films are embraced certainly more than they ever have been in the past, particularly with something like the Friday the 13th franchise, where you have these rights getting all boggled up and keeping a theatrically released movie from happening. Would
Yeah.
you ever consider appearing as Pinhead again in, let's say, somebody like Gary Tunnicliffe makes another fan film
Yeah.
that's not, made by a studio? You putting the
Yeah.
nails back in your face?
I would absolutely do that because I would know that I was going to be taken care of, as far as the script and as far as
Yeah.
looking great. That's really, if I can't look great as Pinhead, then I wouldn't do it, because it has to be a guarantee, because that's the first step towards being successful as Pinhead, is to rock that makeup, or for the makeup to just rock and just to
Yeah.
really work. And I was so lucky that the people who were involved were the people who were involved, and that I looked as good as I did in that makeup. But absolutely, I have been approached about doing stuff, not by Gary, but other people. Like, would you play Pinhead again? Can you come? And I'm like, I would, if you have this much money and want to do a full head cast of me and want to do the makeup the right way and make me look like it's a second skin. Sure. Or actually like my first skin, sure, then yeah, I'm absolutely interested. But that's where the people go, oh no, we just thought maybe you could wear a mask. No.
Spirit Halloween's not cutting it for Paul T. Taylor as Pinhead. We need it all in or nothing. Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Like that.
No.
No, he's not a masked character.
No,
he's not masked, and neither is Freddy Krueger. I mean, people think it's a mask. Saying, no, that is appliances glued to your entire head. That is not a mask. Now, Michael Myers, that's a mask, and Jason, that's a mask. Those are masks. Leatherface, that's a mask. That's what
Freddy and Pinhead
play them. So many actors can play them. That's the whole
absolutely.
thing.
Freddy and Pinhead are much more demanding roles.
Yeah, your features,
take something special.
Yeah. The actors' features, even though they're covered up, are important. So if only my ears stuck out like this much, now I'm Doug Bradley.
You nailed it. Yeah.
Totally. I'm so bald. I'm not really bald. But I mean, yeah,
that's Doug Bradley. Yeah.
But there's Paul Taylor. So,
absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Paul, we talked about Pinhead. We talked about Freddy. One of the last questions that I always like to ask folks that I'm lucky enough to sit down with, you get you get millions and millions of dollars to do your dream role. What is it? What is the number one character, whether it's a thing that already exists or maybe it's something else? What's the dream role?
Oh my God, why can I never remember? Give me a sec. I know the answer to this.
I didn't mean to put you in the hot seat.
No. It's totally.
Well, when you've already played Pinhead, it's hard to.
Well, I really totally think that it would be Nosferatu.
Okay, and I can see that lineage from Nosferatu through Dracula, through Pinhead. I think that there's.
I love vampires so much, and it doesn't have to be Nosferatu. It just needs to be a very powerful vampire.
Okay, let's Put that out into the universe.
Okay, I just really want to do a vampire movie and like good freaking vampire work, like 30 Days of Night.
That was probably the last one.
I love 30 Days of Night so much. It's my favorite vampire movie.
It is. I can't think of too many better at all, let alone since then. I forget if Let the Right One In was before 30 Days of Night or after 30 Days of Night.
So good.
Fantastic.
I think that Let the Right One In came in after, I think. But, you know, there's the... Is the original one French or is it German or
Swedish or something?
Swedish. It is. I think it is Swedish. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just yeah, just rocking the freaking fangs and just the age and the evil and the love vampires.
So let's put that out there too. Hashtag Paul for Nosferatu.
Okay. Yeah.
We're doing it.
I see Doug Jones in the role, though. I see it. I'm seeing
yeah.
That
I can see it too.
12 feet tall, and he is double,
he's a big dude.
And super skinny and has done all this. God, I admire him so much. He's done all
his physicality. Yeah.
Character work. Pan's Labyrinth and the water. You know what I mean?
The shapes. Yeah, the shape of water and
all that Guillermo del Toro work. I really, 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 really I want to why can I suddenly not think of his name? Nope, it's not coming. There's
what is he in?
A director I'd really love to work with. I wish I could remember his name.
Okay.
I hate it when that happens because I want him to hear me say it. I mean, did a movie a few years ago called The Hallow? Did you see? It's kind of a parable. As soon as I try to find this, I'm gonna remember the name. I'll just look.
Beat you to it. The Hallow, directed by Corin Hardy.
That's it, Corin Hardy. Yeah, Corin Hardy. I don't know. I think he's incredible to begin with, and his career path, he just keeps doing this great stuff. And I don't know, I follow him on Instagram, and just the puppets that he made. He's been so into puppets all his life, and the puppets that he made for The Hallow, which is this incredible movie. You should watch it. It's really, really great.
I have my homework now. Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it.
It's a parable. I mean, it's like nature, man versus nature. It's not just a horror film. It's just really, kind of excruciating, and it's about something. But I saw that movie, and I'm like, I want to work with Corin Hardy. And this is before I'd seen him do anything else. It's like this guy's passion and his craftsmanship and the script, right, the directing, all of it. It was just like top notch. I think he also directed The Witch, not Witch, but The Witch, which is
okay. I got you.
Maybe not the most beloved of the franchise that is The Conjuring. Not the most beloved by the fans, but I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I just think his work is so great. So
let's make it 2025. Corin Hardy directing, Paul T. Taylor in Nosferatu.
Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm this kid right now. I'm like, looking at myself making funny faces. I think
that's the bet. You got the set dressing.
I do. It's this lighting. I'm like, I can't help it. I'm in a horror film right now. I look like the demon from. I look like I'm doing The Exorcist.
This was the perfect interview. It started off in a brightly lit room, and now you are cloaked in darkness, illuminated only by red and green, like the horror icon that you are.
If only I had someone walking past that window.
Ooh, yeah.
Who's that? Oh. Someone's outside my window. Oh my God. No, it's my hand. Didn't work. Anyway.
Well, Paul T. Taylor, I have exhausted all of my Hellraiser related questions. Anything I could have thought of for the past week to bug you about, I've asked you. So I wanted to thank you for your patience and politeness as I asked you what I had to ask you.
It's been my pleasure, Bill. Seriously, it's been great. I never once did I want to cut it off short, so that's a good thing.
Hey, that's probably rare.
Well, no, it's not rare. It's just that sometimes I'm in the mood to talk about myself, and sometimes I'm not. And today I happen to be in the mood to talk about myself. I'm
glad
to get back into the whole I'm busy thing. That's what I want. Just want to be busy.
I can tell. It's cool to have releases down the pipeline. It's even cooler to have days where you're going to be on set down the pipeline. That's what it's all about.
That's what I look forward to. Action. Just want to hear action.
Music to my ears.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you again for putting the time aside to talk with me tonight. I really enjoyed our conversation, and on behalf of Dark Universe TV, thanks. And I think I followed you on all of your social media today, so I look forward to following what's next for Paul T. Taylor.
Thank you. Thanks. I'll follow you back on all that stuff too. So.
Oh, that's sweet. You don't have to do that. I'm bored.
Nah. Hey, it's like you're publicity for everyone. Come on, let's just. You're not an idiot, so I'll follow you back.
Oh, that's sweet of you. It would be really nice to come across your path again sometime, Paul. I enjoyed your company this evening.
Thanks, Bill. Me too.
Have a good. I know it's only Thursday, but have a good weekend, Paul.
You too. Take care.
Take it easy.
Thanks. Bye.